Hello, we're going to be talking about One Book July, Go Big or Go Home. What does go big or go home mean to me? And what am I going to be doing for One Book July? Well, if you've noticed from the journal series, I have a lot of journals. I do a lot of journaling in different journals. I have journals for different focus, for different content, I should say. And it ranges anywhere from spirituality to planning to tarot to writing to art to chronicling my day or documenting my day to visual art journaling to watercoloring, sketching, idea, commonplace type journaling, all different kinds of journaling. And when I first started One Book July, I struggled. The struggle was real. I was following what I thought were rules. I was making it more than it had to be. My Cancer, Aquarius, Leo self could not get it in my head. I kept wanting to break rules, and then I'm thinking, well, I'm breaking rules. I'm so glad that Romney did the video about what One Book July is, and that the rules are that there are no rules except to have fun. Because that first year I struggled. I picked a different journal than I normally journal in, and I had a rough time with that because I was just really learning how to watercolor, and it needed a light wash, and I didn't know how to do a light wash. I'm still struggling with a light wash. I'm still struggling with having patience to do layers, to have the time in between. I was thinking, okay, what do I really need to work on? Well, I got the Law of Attraction Planner, and I got that mostly for the goal setting and for some personal stuff to work through all of these things that I needed to work through to get a better planning system. And that's the thing. And I've heard it over and over again from Romney, from Carrie, from Miss Speaky Bee, from a lot of different people. You need to have a system that works. It doesn't matter what you're using your system in, your system can work in anything. One of the things I've struggled with the most is the planning system, and it's my Hobonichi. I have the Hobonichi cousin. I've been using it for I think 3 years, maybe 4 years now. And at first I was doing like Hobonichi style journaling in it, where I documented my day, illustrated my day, and it works, but I needed more than one page, and I struggled. Well, now I'm finding as I grow as an artist that maybe the Hobonichi would actually work as a planner, or it could also work as a document my day for one day. You know, just the quick, easy stuff. But I have other stuff that I do that in now because I'm used to having 2 pages per day. But I also am leaning more and more and more towards what would be called an artist journal. I've been using the Omni Journal system for a long time now, and I finally, through One Book July, got everything where I could do everything in one notebook. Thus, the Omni Journal. I could do my planning, I could do my art journaling, I could do art, illustrative day journaling kind of thing. People call it all different kinds of things. A visual journal, an illustrated journal, document your life journal, all kinds of things. So I can do all of that. My commonplace journaling, everything, research, notes, ideas, all of that in the Omni Journal. So I've conquered that. I can do every single thing in one journal. But what I haven't conquered is figuring out the Hobonichi, and I still have half a year left in the Hobonichi, what I really want to do with it. I'm still working on my planning system. I went from being one of those people who used a calendar, just a little calendar you throw in your purse that has the 12 months in it, a wall calendar for at home, and then a legal pad where I wrote a bunch of to-dos. I put a check mark by it when I started it, and the check mark would become an X when I completed it, and I would migrate things over to the next day that hadn't either been touched or that had only started and had not finished. So it's sort of bullet journaling without the bullet journaling book. I never really combined the calendar with that list, so the bullet journaling works for me. When you start throwing all those collection things and all that stuff into it, it becomes way more complicated than it needs to be for me. So a notebook with collections, with ideas, with thoughts, with things like that, to me, goes in more of my commonplace journal. The journal that I write notes about when I'm reading a book, that I do sketch notes in, that I write all my ideas and thoughts and shiny new ideas and quotes that I like and different things like that. So I could do collections in a journal like that. I've evolved. I'm a work in progress, and so are my journals. So I thought, what do I really want to do for One Book July? Go big, go home. Go big, go home. And debated over it. I'm going to be using the reading part. I'm going to read the stuff in the Law of Attraction planner. I'm still going to be reading it, but I'm not going to be filling it out right now. I'm just going to be reading it, and I'm going to be taking note. I'm going to be using the Hobonichi as the planner. At the end of this month, I will rearrange and I will show you exactly what I'm doing close to the end of this month. So the journal series, the where I'm journaling, and that last bonus video, they're going to come. But right now with One Book July and stuff like that, I thought maybe this would be a little bit better, and I will get back to you because we've had so much rain. I haven't been able to film a where. And Mr. Rockstar and I really want to go to the park, and he wants to watch me do the urban sketching, and so he can film and I can set up the one camera and then he can have the other camera and do some filming, because it's really hard for me to do all that, and I need to wait until things dry up some, because there's a place at the park where you can go and you can sit at like a picnic table and it has a really pretty view. On the 30th, I will show you my setup for One Book July, my actual setup. And then after that, the beginning of July, I will put the 2 journal series videos up. I don't have very much left in the Army journal I'm currently using. For now, between now and the end of the month, I'm going to be putting every single thing in there, which is what I did originally. All my ideas, my thoughts, everything but some of the writing stuff, but my morning pages, everything's going in there so that I can fill it up, because I want to fill it up. That's part of my go big, go home. I got to get that filled up. And I thought about just continuing to use it until One Book July is over. But what I'd like to set up for One Book July is, I'm hoping, going to become permanent, because like I said, things have been evolving and growing as I've been growing as an artist. Patreon and YouTube have really helped. I am 50 subscribers away from hitting 2,000, so I'm super excited about that, and just want to say thank you to all of you. 3 more people and I will have 20 people on Patreon. So my theme, back to One Book July, my theme for One Book July is going to somehow sort of be ocean sort of theme. July is my birthday month. I grew up near the ocean on an island. We were always at the beach. I love the ocean. And as a water baby, as a Cancer, and I only have the one mermaid. This is the dark unicorn, but it is close enough. So what I've done, and I will show you more of the setup, is I took this, I used the clear cover that I had that was for a different journal and put it on my Hobonichi. And I did the mermaid scales and then put a poem on the front that says, "See yourself succeeding." And this is the Hobonichi. Now the rest of what's in this, I will show y'all next week on Friday, because I'm still working on that part of the setup. So this is going to be my planner for One Book July. Just going to have the one planner. It's in a traveler's notebook. Still working on it. And the reason I'm still working on it is that I want to have that traveler's notebook, the one traveler's notebook other than the planning. I want to have it set up for the major things in my life. I'm going to cut back on some of the journals for the month of July, because it's always good to challenge yourself. The only thing I will be using other than these 2 is my writer's Bible, which is a separate entity than journaling or than planning. It's separate. And the only thing I usually have in my writer's notebook is my writer bullet journal, and then a notebook for journaling how my writing went. So just nothing complicated. So yes, One Book July is a great way to kind of challenge yourself and to figure out what you might want to change, or what you might want to work on. It's a good way to get back to the basics. That's the premise of One Book July, is getting back to the basics. If something isn't working for you, or if you want to try a different size, I know not to try a different size. I'm an A5 kind of woman, and that's my thing. I love the A5. I use thicker journals. I have found, though, that I'm going more and more towards instead of the 400-page journals, I'm getting where I want more like a 200-page. So maybe it means 4 journals in a year instead of 2, or maybe it means 6 journals in a year instead of the 3. I'm figuring things out, and I'm figuring out how to slim things down without taking away from my process, from what really does work for me. Because I have ADHD, I need to have a focus. I need to have a grand central station where I can do most things, and then it branches off into other things. Like I said, I will have the actual setup on the 30th. But for those of you who are curious, I am working towards having a journal for chronicling things, sort of a combination of things. A commonplace journal, what would be sort of, I don't even know what to call it now, because it's not an omni journal anymore, because I'm not going to be doing planning in it. So it still would be an omni journal because it's going to have a mixture of things. Sort of the Hobonichi without the Hobonichi, since my pages aren't predated. And then an artist journal. So I think that's where I'm heading, is an artist journal. And this will have 3 notebooks in it, and I'll show my setup soon. The 30th is less than a week away, and going big or going home, I'm also doing a project or 2. So not only am I working on Artist Way, and I have redone my Stology notebook, was my spiritual, etc., and then I started doing some planning in it. Well, when I covered it, because it was going to be my planner, it was going to go in one of these notebooks for OneBookJuly, but once I covered it with collage, I soon realized that what was calling to me inside my spirit was for this to be more spiritual, more meditative. So thus the morning pages. This is going to be my morning pages journal, which is not really part of OneBookJuly. So yeah, so that's where I'm at. A lot of the other stuff is going to be put to the side. The bullet journal stuff, all of that's going to be put to the side, because everything for planning and all will be in here. It's gonna go in the Hobonichi. As a matter of fact, I've already started figuring out how I sort of want to do my pages. I was practicing. This is today and tomorrow, setting things up. I actually did this and yesterday. Sorry for the glare, y'all. So I'll give you the sneak peek. This is this coming week in the weeks section, and then this is the monthly for July. I've already kind of started going through and sort of setting things up, but I'm not quite ready. I'm not there yet, so I'm not ready to film any of that part. I'm excited though. I'm ready to get it set up. I will see you again on Sunday, tomorrow, with the Artist Way check-in for week 3, which is a sense of power. And then Monday we'll have the coffee chat. Wednesday I'm going to do a Camp NaNoWriMo video. Friday will be OneBookJuly's setup. If you have any questions or any comments or anything, please put them below. Please make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you again soon. Thanks. Bye.